Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne's relationship is one of the most iconic, chaotic, and at times heart-wrenching in rock history. Their story began in the early 1970s, long before the world knew them as the outrageous couple from the Osbournes reality show. Sharon, the daughter of legendary music manager Don Arden, was only 18 years old when she first crossed paths with Ozzy, the frontman of Black Sabbath. She had already been exposed to the rock and roll world, but it wasn't until she met Ozzy that her life would truly change. At the time, Ozzy was a rock legend, but he was also a troubled man. His reputation for being wild and unpredictable had already begun to take shape. Sharon, on the other hand, was focused on managing the careers of various musicians, including her father's clients. However, when she met Ozzy, sparks flew immediately. It wasn't long before they were inseparable, despite the significant challenges they faced. Sharon had to deal with Ozzy's chaotic, unpredictable lifestyle, which included his heavy drinking, frequent drug use, and constant run-ins with the law. She was thrust into a role of not just a girlfriend, but also a protector and caretaker. Sharon was not new to the world of rock, but she wasn't prepared for the whirlwind life Ozzy led. As Ozzy's personal manager, she was forced to juggle her professional responsibilities with her growing feelings for him. The couple's relationship was anything but normal, with Ozzy's excessive behaviors pushing them to their limits. Yet Sharon stuck by him, displaying incredible loyalty even when things seemed impossible. It wasn't just love that kept her by Ozzy's side. It was an unshakable belief that she could help him overcome his demons. Ozzy, for his part, was undoubtedly drawn to Sharon's toughness and intelligence. She was not just a woman in his life. She was a force who understood his career and could keep him grounded. The power dynamic between them, where she became not only his wife but also his manager, was unusual for many relationships in the rock world. But for Ozzy and Sharon, it seemed to work. They began to forge a deep connection, even as their lives became more public and fraught with scandal. Their relationship faced scrutiny from the public almost immediately. Sharon had to balance her role as Ozzy's partner while also managing his volatile career. While many people in the music industry doubted their bond, Sharon's determination to make it work became increasingly evident. She became his confidant, his manager, and his biggest supporter, despite the constant storm around them. They were both fully aware of the price fame would exact on their personal lives, but together they began to build a powerful partnership that would prove difficult to break. Despite all the odds, their love for each other grew stronger over time. Their early years were marked by turbulent experiences that tested the foundation of their relationship. But Sharon's unwavering commitment to Ozzy, along with her ability to keep things together during the darkest moments of his career, formed the cornerstone of their future together. Their bond was built on a mixture of love, loyalty, and sheer determination, and it was only just beginning. One of the most infamous and jaw-dropping moments in rock history occurred in 1982 during Ozzy Osbourne's live performance in Des Moines, Iowa. What was meant to be another chaotic night in Ozzy's unpredictable career turned into a moment that would go down in the annals of rock and roll history. The incident: Ozzy bit the head off a bat, live on stage during a concert. The action itself was shocking, disturbing, and nearly ended Ozzy's career. At the time, Ozzy's reputation for eccentricity and wild behavior was already well established. But biting the head off a bat in front of an audience was next level. According to Ozzy, he had been handed the bat by a fan, and in a moment of madness, he decided to bite its head off as part of his infamous on-stage theatrics. What Ozzy didn't expect, however, was that the bat was still alive, and the moment quickly became a media frenzy. Animal rights groups condemned him, the press had a field day, and Ozzy's already tarnished image became even more controversial. While most people in the industry would have been horrified by such an act, Sharon's reaction was quite different. Rather than turning on Ozzy or distancing herself from the fallout, she stood by him and supported him throughout the aftermath. Despite the mounting public backlash, Sharon never wavered in her loyalty to her husband. She helped manage the press, steered him through the storm of criticism, and fiercely defended his actions, calling it a spontaneous act of insanity. Sharon's support during this time showcased her unwavering dedication to Ozzy and her understanding of the rock world's eccentricities. The bat incident was not just another headline. It became a defining moment in the couple's relationship. Sharon's ability to deal with the chaos surrounding Ozzy and her refusal to back down demonstrated her toughness and commitment to their marriage. She didn't just see Ozzy as the eccentric rock star he appeared to be in the media. She understood the man behind the chaos and had no intention of letting him fall apart in front of the world. For Ozzy, The bad incident was a moment of both fame and notoriety. It solidified his position as the Prince of Darkness in the rock world, but it also came with the heavy burden of public scorn. However, with Sharon by his side, Ozzy managed to weather the storm. Sharon's ability to stay calm, handle the media frenzy, and protect their brand was critical during this time. While many may have crumbled under the pressure, the couple emerged even stronger, one of the most controversial and iconic couples in the history of rock music. Despite the chaos, Sharon's loyalty remained steadfast. She became the ultimate protector of Ozzy's career, guiding him through not only the fallout from the bad incident but countless other scandals and struggles. This moment marked a turning point for their relationship, as it showed that Sharon was much more than just a manager or a wife. She was Ozzy's greatest ally. No matter how strange or dangerous the situation became, moments of his career formed the cornerstone of their future together. Their bond was built on a mixture of love, loyalty, and sheer determination, and it was only just beginning. In the early 1980s, Ozzy Osbourne's career was skyrocketing, but personally, he was spiraling into a dark abyss. The pressures of fame, his ever-growing substance abuse, and his erratic behavior took a serious toll on his health and well-being. The combination of drugs, alcohol, and his relentless tour schedule put him in a dangerous position, and it was clear to everyone around him that something had to give. But what Ozzy didn't know was that his wife, Sharon, was about to become not just his wife but also his lifeline. Sharon had been Ozzy's manager from the beginning, guiding his career with the precision of a seasoned industry pro. But in the mid-1980s, Sharon's role expanded to include being Ozzy's caretaker as he battled his growing addiction. She had seen firsthand the destructive effects of Ozzy's addiction, and at times, it seemed like it might be too much for her to handle. But where others would have walked away, Sharon stayed by his side, fighting not just for his career, but for his life. During this period, Ozzy's behavior became increasingly erratic. He would often miss concerts, and when he did show up, he was incoherent and unpredictable. Sharon had to make the difficult decision to intervene, despite the intense pressure. She took charge of the situation, organizing intervention after intervention and seeking out rehab programs for Ozzy. Throughout these tumultuous years, Sharon became the backbone of their relationship, the one person Ozzy could rely on to help him navigate his darkest days. But it wasn't easy. Sharon often found herself caught between her love for Ozzy and the harsh reality that she might lose him. As his addiction deepened, so did the strain on their marriage. The emotional toll on Sharon was immense, as she was not only managing Ozzy's career and health but also dealing with the very real possibility of losing him. Yet, through it all, she never gave up on him. She became his advocate, his nurse, and his emotional support, pushing him to seek help and never letting him fall too far from the path. Sharon's unwavering dedication paid off. Through multiple rehab stints and countless setbacks, Ozzy eventually found the strength to face his addiction and begin the long road to recovery. It was Sharon's strength, resilience, and love that kept him fighting. Her belief in him never wavered, even when the world seemed to have written him off. This period in their marriage was one of their most trying times, but it ultimately solidified their bond. Ozzy's recovery wasn't just about kicking his addiction, it was about rediscovering his relationship with Sharon, who had stood by him when no one else would. The battle with addiction was one of the toughest challenges Ozzy and Sharon faced together, but also made them stronger. Sharon's role as Ozzy's rock during these years of darkness proved that their relationship was much more than just a rock and roll fairy tale. It was about resilience, loyalty, and an unbreakable bond that would endure the worst of times. Despite the chaos and uncertainty of those years, Sharon remained a constant, reminding Ozzy that he was never alone in his fight. In 2002, the Osbourne family's world was turned upside down when they became the stars of their own reality show, The Osbournes on MTV. The show, which chronicled their chaotic, often hilarious home life, became a cultural phenomenon almost overnight. The world got an inside look into the everyday lives of Ozzy, Sharon, Kelly, Jack, and the family dogs. But while the show was lighthearted and comedic, it also revealed the struggles and challenges the family faced behind closed doors. The decision to appear on the show wasn't an easy one for Sharon. As a manager and businesswoman, she understood the power of publicity, but she also knew that exposing their personal lives could have serious consequences. Ozzy was in the midst of his recovery, and the family's dynamic was complex, to say the least. Nevertheless, Sharon saw the opportunity as a way to reinvent the family's image and make a fresh start after years of controversies and scandals. From the very first episode, the Osbournes captivated audiences with its raw, unfiltered look at life with Ozzy and Sharon. Fans were drawn to the chaotic yet loving dynamic between the couple and their children. Sharon was portrayed as the no-nonsense matriarch who kept the family in line, while Ozzy was shown as the lovable, often confused patriarch who couldn't remember his own family members' names. The show was a massive hit, winning multiple awards and making the Osbournes one of the most recognizable families in the world. However, despite its success, the Osbournes was not without its difficulties. The show took a toll on the family's personal lives. The cameras were always rolling, capturing intimate moments and family arguments that were never meant to be aired in front of the public. Ozzy's health continued to be a concern, and Sharon was forced to balance her responsibilities as both his wife and manager with the demands of the show. The pressures of fame, along with the constant scrutiny of their personal lives, created tension within the family. But through it all, Sharon remained the glue that held the family together. She managed the delicate balance of being a television star, a manager, and a mother, all while navigating the challenges of Ozzy's health issues and the strains that the show placed on their marriage. She used the platform of the show to not only show the world the lighter side of their lives, but also to shed light on the real struggles they face behind the scenes. While the show may have been a wild ride, it also humanized the Osbournes in ways that no one could have predicted. Fans were able to see a different side of Ozzy and Sharon, one that was more relatable and down-to-earth. It was no longer just about the rock star antics. It was about family, love, and the challenges that come with living in the public eye. As if managing Ozzy's chaotic career and personal issues wasn't enough, Sharon Osbourne faced her own monumental health battle. In 2002, during the filming of The Osbournes, Sharon was diagnosed with colon cancer, a terrifying diagnosis that turned her world upside down. For years, Sharon had been the unshakable pillar holding her family together, but now she faced a challenge that would test her strength like never before. This was a private battle that, in many ways, she couldn't keep behind closed doors, especially considering the visibility of their family life on television. Despite the overwhelming fear that came with the diagnosis, Sharon approached her cancer treatment with the same level of determination and resilience that she'd shown throughout her career and marriage. She underwent a series of treatments, including a difficult surgery to remove part of her colon, followed by chemotherapy. It was a time of deep vulnerability, not only for Sharon but for Ozzy, who had to face the possibility of losing the love of his life. The stress of her illness compounded the family's already complicated life, and Sharon's health struggles became another layer of tension in their often turbulent lives. The show, which had previously showcased Sharon as a confident, witty, and tough businesswoman, now displayed a more vulnerable side of her. Viewers saw her fighting through the hardships of chemotherapy, maintaining her focus on her family while continuing to battle a life-threatening disease. In a way, Sharon's strength during this period mirrored the way she had supported Ozzy during his battles with addiction, but this time the roles were reversed. Ozzy, ever the supportive husband, was by her side, attending doctor appointments and supporting her recovery in whatever way he could. However, Sharon's health struggles also put a strain on her relationship with Ozzy. Both had spent years dealing with one crisis after another, and this new challenge pushed them to the brink. Sharon admitted that during this time, their marriage was tested more than ever before. But even in the darkest of times, they continued to lean on each other. Sharon's diagnosis was a reminder of how fleeting life can be, but it also underscored the depth of their love and the strength of their partnership. Sharon would eventually beat cancer, a victory that was as emotional as it was life-changing. Sharon's battle with cancer, combined with the constant pressure of her public life, took a toll on her emotionally and physically. But she emerged from the experience stronger than ever. Her ability to overcome such an enormous challenge while still holding her family together only added to the public's admiration for her. Sharon showed the world that she was more than just Ozzy's wife. She was a force in her own right, capable of overcoming the most daunting of obstacles. Despite the high points of their marriage, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne's relationship was not without its setbacks. The pressures of constant public scrutiny, family drama, and personal demons created a volatile environment within the Osbourne household. Even as the couple worked to stay strong, their family dynamics were beginning to unravel. Their children, Kelly and Jack, were also going through their own struggles. Kelly, often in the media spotlight, dealt with the weight of public judgment over her appearance and lifestyle, while Jack battled his own addiction issues, leading to his public struggle with drugs. It was a family in crisis, yet the Osbournes remained loyal to each other, trying to patch up the pieces of their fractured family life. For Sharon, The constant balancing act between her personal and professional lives became more and more difficult. Managing Ozzy's career, navigating family drama, and dealing with the public fallout from their reality show meant that Sharon was often stretched to her limits. At times, she faced intense criticism for how she handled the family's issues, but only seemed to fuel her determination to keep moving forward. Meanwhile, Ozzy's mental health began to show signs of deterioration as he entered his 60s. While he was sober from drugs and alcohol, the toll that years of abuse had taken on his body and mind was becoming more apparent. This led to tensions between him and Sharon, who had spent years supporting him through his addiction and health issues. Now it was her turn to take care of herself, but the responsibility of managing Ozzy's health was still very much hers. Despite these struggles, Sharon and Ozzy continue to be an inseparable force in the entertainment world. But behind the scenes, cracks were starting to show. Their family dynamic was shifting, and it was becoming increasingly difficult to maintain the picture-perfect image that had once been so central to the public's perception of the Osbourne family. In early 2020, Ozzy Osbourne's health took another devastating turn when he publicly revealed that he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a progressive neurological disorder that affects movement. The announcement shocked fans and cast a shadow over his already fragile health. Ozzy had been battling a myriad of health issues for years, but this diagnosis was a game-changer. Parkinson's disease is a condition that worsens over time, and it left both Ozzy and Sharon facing an uncertain future. The news hit Sharon especially hard. While she had spent years dealing with her own health struggles and supporting Ozzy through his addictions and various ailments, this was a whole new battle. Sharon, ever the protector, became even more dedicated to caring for Ozzy, making sure he received the best treatment possible and helping him adapt to life with the disease. For Ozzy, the diagnosis was a tough pill to swallow. He had always been known as the unpredictable, larger-than-life rock star, but Parkinson's threatened to take away the one thing that had always defined him, his ability to perform. Ozzy was known for his energetic stage presence, but the disease made it increasingly difficult for him to move the way he used to. Despite the challenges, Ozzy remained determined to continue performing. Sharon, of course, stood by his side, managing the business side of his career while overseeing his health and treatment. Ozzy's Parkinson's diagnosis added a new layer of stress to their already complicated lives, but also showed the deep bond between them. Sharon's unwavering support and dedication to her husband's well-being were clear, and she once again became the pillar of strength that Ozzy leaned on during this challenging period. Despite the challenges posed by his Parkinson's diagnosis, Ozzy Osbourne's desire to perform remained as strong as ever. Fans were deeply moved by his resilience, and many questioned whether the Prince of Darkness could ever perform again, given his health struggles. But in 2020, against all odds, Ozzy returned to the stage, proving that his spirit was unbreakable. Ozzy's return to performing was a monumental moment. He had to adjust his performance style to accommodate the physical limitations caused by Parkinson's disease. He could no longer move with the same vigor that had once been a trademark of his shows. Instead, his performances became more introspective, as he embraced the reality of aging and the challenges of living with a neurological disorder. Sharon, ever the supportive wife, played a crucial role in Ozzy's return to the spotlight. She was instrumental in organizing his performances, managing his schedule, and ensuring he had the support he needed to perform safely. It wasn't just about the music for Sharon, it was about making sure Ozzy could continue doing what he loved, while also protecting his health. In 2020, Ozzy released his first solo album in almost a decade, titled Ordinary Man. The album's release was a triumph, and it showcased Ozzy's determination to keep creating music, even in the face of adversity. The album's success was proof that, even as he dealt with his personal health battles, Ozzy still had the magic that had made him a rock legend in the first place. Fans were ecstatic to see the Prince of Darkness continue to shine, albeit in a new light. But for Sharon, seeing Ozzy perform again was a bittersweet experience. While she was proud of his accomplishments, she also knew the toll that performing took on him. She had spent years managing his health, and now she was tasked with helping him navigate the challenges of performing with Parkinson's disease. It was a delicate balance, but Sharon was determined to support him every step of the way, no matter what. Ozzy's return to the stage was a testament to his indomitable will, but it also highlighted the incredible strength of Sharon's commitment to her family. Through thick and thin, the Osbournes continued to defy expectations, showing the world that, even in the face of life's toughest challenges, they could always find a way to keep moving forward. As Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne continue to navigate their personal and professional lives, one thing remains certain: their their legacy will be defined by far more than just music and television. The Osbournes' story is one of perseverance, loyalty, and love in the face of countless challenges. Their impact on pop culture is undeniable, and their story has inspired generations of fans to never give up, no matter how difficult life may get. The Osbourne family's reality show, The Osbournes, which aired from 2002 to 2005, brought the family's chaotic but endearing life into millions of living rooms around the world. It was a groundbreaking moment in reality television, giving fans a behind-the-scenes look at the world of rock royalty. But more importantly, it humanized the Osbournes, showing the struggles and triumphs of a family trying to make it through the ups and downs of life. For Sharon, the success of the Osbournes was just the beginning of her entertainment empire. She went on to host her own talk show, The Talk, where she became known for her sharp wit and unapologetic personality. Sharon proved time and time again that she was more than just Ozzy's wife. She was a force in her own right, a savvy businesswoman who had carved out her own place in the entertainment industry. For Ozzy, the legacy of his music and larger-than-life persona will always be remembered. He's often referred to as the godfather of heavy metal, and his influence on the genre is immeasurable. His music has inspired countless musicians, and his impact on rock and roll culture is undeniable. But it's not just his music that has left an indelible mark on the world. It's his willingness to embrace his flaws, his vulnerability, and his humanity that has endeared him to fans for decades. Together, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne have built a legacy that goes beyond music and television. They have created a story that is filled with highs and lows, challenges and triumphs, and above all, an unwavering love for one another. Their journey is a testament to the power of resilience, and their ability to overcome even the most difficult of circumstances will continue to inspire people around the world for years to come. As Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne look to the future, it's clear that they are not slowing down. Despite the many obstacles they have faced in their lives, including health struggles, addiction, and family drama, the Osbournes have shown time and time again that they are a family that endures. Their bond, both as a couple and as a family, remains as strong as ever, and they continue to defy the odds. With Ozzy's Parkinson's diagnosis, there is a sense of urgency about the time they have left to continue making music, performing, and living life to the fullest. But even as Ozzy's health continues to decline, he has made it clear that he will continue to fight, both for himself and for his family. Sharon, ever the protector, is determined to ensure that Ozzy can continue doing what he loves, even if it means making sacrifices along the way. Their children, Kelly and Jack, are also continuing to build their own careers, and it's clear that the Osbourne legacy will continue for generations to come. Kelly has found success as a television personality, while Jack has become a successful entrepreneur and producer. The Osbournes may have started as a rock and roll family, but they have evolved into something much more, an enduring symbol of love, resilience, and the power of family. For Ozzy and Sharon, the future may be uncertain, but one thing is for sure: they will face whatever comes their way together. They have survived the darkest of times, and their unwavering support for each other proves that their love is stronger than any challenge life throws their way. The Osbournes will continue to leave their mark on the world, proving that even in the face of adversity, family is everything.